This is an illuminated globe made by the Columbus Company of Germany, and it's got a low-stepped wooden base with an aluminium axis running through the centre, an aluminium half meridian, and a glass globe with 12 paper gauze fixed on it. Well, why is it called an illuminated globe? Well, to spare you, I'll get all of the puns about globes out of the way nice and early so you can enjoy the video once they're done. It's called an illuminated globe because at Christopher Clark Antiques we like to light up your world. Sorry, that's really corny. We also like to spin your world. Right, that's all of the bad puns out of the way. You probably can't see the globe very well now in this light because it's so bright from the bulb to the centre of the glass globe. So let's sort that out and carry on. Okay, now we've got the lights back on and the globe is still switched on. There you go, it's off, back on. And hopefully you can see it much better now. Well, the illuminated globe was developed by the Columbus Company in the 1920s. And they were a very forward-thinking company. They were started by Paul and Peter Ostergaard in 1909 in Berlin on the principles of being able to bring globes to the masses. Up until that date, they were very much a rich person's plaything. They wanted to get the globes out there, mass produce, change the way things were done, and they were very, very successful. So successful, the company is still going and still holds true to its core principles of innovation. They've got globes now where you have a digital pen with an app and you put the pen onto the globe and it'll bring up all of the information on the app. Very, very clever people. So, back to the dating of the globe. Well, let's move in a little bit closer so you can have a good look at it, and we'll talk about how we date this to around about 1948. Well, when you date globes, you look at the different name changes and country name changes that have occurred, and then you build your date line from that. So just here we have Istanbul. Now, the name changed from Constantinople to Istanbul in 1930. So we know that it's not before 1930. And if we turn the globe a little, we can see down here we have Persia. Well, Persia became Iran in 1935 after the Nazis put a lot of heavy influence on the Persian ambassador to change the name. But that's a little bit of an anomaly. That's a red herring, and we'll come back to that. So the main way we have to date the globe, and I think we need to bring the camera down a little bit for this, is from the maker's cartouche. And as we can see here, it says at the top, Dr. Arneus. He was probably the cartographer, Columbus Globe. And then to the bottom, it says Columbus Verlag, Paul Ostergaard, KG, Berlin und Stuttgart, made in Germany. So Stuttgart, remember that. And to the centre, we've got sole agents in the United Kingdom, Geographia Limited, 167 Fleet Street, London, EC4. Well, the Columbus Company made globes in 24 different languages and had agents all over the world. Geographia were theirs in London, in England. Now, they didn't move to 167 Fleet Street until 1942, so our date has risen up again from 1935. But also Stuttgart. Well, the company during the war were based in Berlin, and they moved address a couple of times due to bombings. But after the war, they opened a factory in Stuttgart, and they were very aware about what was going to happen with the dividing of the company. And so from 1948, they were based in Stuttgart. Now, what we also need to remember is that Germany was divided into East and West in 1949. Now, Germany is shown as one country on this globe. We also have Israel named on the globe, and Israel was known by that name also from 1948. So that gives us our date line really, 1948-49. Now, with the aid of this magnifying glass, hopefully you can just see Israel written down here. And of course, to the middle here, we've got Persia, which had become Iran at least 13 years ago. Now I just wonder if Columbus had purposely renamed Iran Persia, cocking a snook to the old Nazi regime. I mean, don't forget, this is 1948-49. The war has not long finished. It's incredible in many ways that they're still making globes and exporting them to places like the United Kingdom after everything that happened. But maybe it was just their way of saying, look, we're not Nazis and we want to get on with things and let's all do business. Maybe that's a bit of fanciful thinking, but who knows? A company like Columbus, who was so innovative and so ahead of the game, it would be very surprising for Persia not to be named Iran if they didn't have some sort of reason. So what I find fascinating is that with globes and maps, of course, not only do they teach us about geography, but with all of the different name changes over the years and the fact that you can date maps and globes from that, they also give us a history lesson. But more than that, this is also a great looking thing. The fact that you can have it unlit or lit up. You can use it as a globe, you can use it as a focal point in your room when the light is on. Just makes it a wonderful item, a very practical and useful item which would look good in any home really, be it on a desk or a lamp table. So we have Dr. New's Columbus Illuminated globe. It's made with a wooden low-stepped base with aluminium axis and half meridian, with a glass globe with a light bulb in it and paper gauze on top. And it's going to date to around about 1948.